renewable energy leader, expect big things from ConocoPhillips and watch our performance elevate.
Basically, I don't belong here. I'm an aggressive, conquering accomplisher.
What are you? Go to findyouraq.com.
Stay tuned for more news around the clock on your most trusted name in news, CNN. See you tomorrow night. Good night.
From the CNN Global Headquarters in Atlanta, this is CNN Sunday Night. Jeanne is not done yet in Florida, and this tropical storm has plans for Georgia and the Carolinas. We're live in her path. We'll see what she's left behind and look ahead at what's next. Also, 4 major hurricanes in 6 weeks. How are Florida's residents coping with the emotional roller coaster? Just 24 hours ago.
At this point in time, it is hard to stand up.
Riding out the storm, just in case you missed this. Anderson Cooper and Chad Myers as Jeanne stormed ashore overnight. These stories and a lot more next on CNN Sunday Night. Good evening, I'm Carol Lynn, and welcome to CNN Sunday Night. We have got it all this hour. How do you take one of the most orchestrated, pre-planned events in television and make history? Well, on Thursday, George Bush and John Kerry debate for the first time. The advisors to 2 great communicators, Reagan and Clinton, give us a preview with a twist. And also in our rap sheet, prosecutors gamble that home video of Lacey Peterson grabs the jurors. And will a Florida husband now have the right to end his wife's life? The twist in the Terry Schiavo case. Jane and Wendy go at it on the rap sheet, as only they know how. But consider this, 22 hours ago, Hurricane Jeanne roared ashore Florida's east coast, pelting city after city with howling wind and stinging rain. And this is what's left. This is just some of the damage in Vero Beach. Farther north in Melbourne, powerful winds peeled off roofs and sides of homes. Inland, Orlando did not escape. Wind as high as 70 miles an hour ripped down countless trees and power lines. 2 people drowned during the hurricane when their car plunged off a bridge. Another was electrocuted. And a 15-year-old was crushed by a fallen tree. Our John Zarella has actually traveled from near where the Hurricane Jeanne made landfall all the way up to Vero Beach, seeing some of the worst of the damage. John, what was that journey like for you?
Well, Carol, you know, the journey up from West Palm Beach up to here, we passed a lot of flooding, and we've seen a lot of downed trees, a lot of downed power. I think the interesting thing is it's hard to differentiate in many, many places what the damage is that was caused by Hurricane Jeanne last night and the damage that was caused 3 weeks ago from Hurricane Francis. For instance, we are in a community of manufactured housing here in Vero Beach that just sits off of Interstate 95, and there are some piles of debris on the ground here, still left over from Hurricane Francis, but there's a lot of aluminum siding down. There are other pieces of roofing material, sides of these manufactured houses that were blown apart last night when Hurricane Jeanne came through. And the people here had just begun to pick up from Hurricane Francis when this happened to them. And the same stories are being told all over this part of Florida that's been slammed twice. Down in Stewart, about 30 miles to the south, we were in a community today that had barely begun, literally barely begun recovering from Hurricane Francis, and they too were hit again.
Some of my furniture.
In the span of 3 weeks, Mary Sue Davis has been victimized twice.
Everything's totally gone. It had all fallen in here.
The eyes of 2 hurricanes, Francis and now Jeanne, passed directly over her Stewart, Florida home. Francis did most of the damage. Her ceilings are nearly completely gone. Her furniture destroyed.
There's no way that you can replace these things ever.
It will be many months before this home is livable.
It would be anywhere from 4 to 6 months or longer before we would be back in our homes. That takes you through all the holidays. So you're going to have Thanksgiving dinner in an RV or hotel room, Christmas.
Compounding Davis's problem, her insurance company has still not sent an adjuster to assess the losses from the first hurricane. Barbara Motisi lives across the street. She's in the same boat.
I feel like they're giving me the runaround because when I call one number, they say, okay, you're supposed to call this number. So I call that number where the adjusters are supposed to be, and they told me I wasn't even assigned to adjuster yet.
Motisi's home is unlivable, too. Mold covers the walls.
This is from the first one. Yeah, no, I haven't had an adjuster here from the first storm yet.
Now, water from Jeanne that streamed in through holes in the roof covers the floor. This entire subdivision is a mess. Tarps that covered roofs were ripped off by Jeanne, exposing gaping holes left behind by Frances. Debris piles never picked up from the first hurricane will now only get bigger.
And these, of course, are the kinds of problems that you're seeing. You saw a microcosm there of in that piece of what we are finding all over this part of the state of Florida. Folks are not only facing the tough task that they had from picking up from the first hurricane, they're facing it now from the second hurricane. And on top of that, a lot of them are still having a great deal of difficulty getting satisfaction from insurance companies. So they are facing very, very difficult times here as they try to recover. Carol, as we all know, not from one, but from two hurricanes, a very, very odd circumstance that struck literally within miles of one another, not just 3 weeks to the day apart, but nearly 3 weeks to the hour apart. Carol?
You're right, and when those insurance adjusters finally do make it out to the scene, all those new rules after Hurricane Andrew are going to be tested for those poor homeowners. Thank you, John Zarella. It's going to be complicated. Well, at first, forecasters thought Jeanne was going to scrape Florida's Atlantic coast, but it turned west and headed for the Panhandle, which is still recovering from Hurricane Ivan. Our Sean Caleb's is in Steinhatchee, Florida, west of Gainesville. Sean.
Well, Carol, you're exactly right. And really, Ivan did significant damage, but much further to the west than we are. We are actually right in the heart of the Big Bend. It's a little town called Steinhatchee. Basically, it is a fishing area where people come for sport fishing. That is really what the economy in this small rural area is based on. This is what people have been experiencing throughout the day, just a steady rainfall. There had been significant winds, probably kicking up well in excess of 45 miles an hour, but they have dropped off somewhat, perhaps just one of these bands coming through. I had a chance to speak with Orland Sidney before I came out here. We are literally in the dark. It's very difficult for us to get any kind of information. Power went off hours ago, and she said that expect this kind of rain and winds, perhaps gusting as high as 70 miles an hour throughout the entire evening. And some things that strike me, I've seen a number of cars on the small rural roads out here throughout the evening, and unlike many other parts where we have been reporting from hurricanes, it's not just palm trees here. There are a number of live oaks, a lot of pine trees. These come down much easier, so certainly the roads are going to be littered with limbs and trees throughout the evening, bringing down power lines. There's also a marina down here with a number of boats. It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out in the morning as well, Carol.
Let's see what happens. Thanks very much, Sean. Let's get to then what the status of Jeanne is. Clearly, they're getting some rain, maybe some potential damage in the Panhandle area. Meteorologist Orland Sidney tracking Jeanne. What's it doing?
Thanks a lot, Carol. It is weakening, and I think at the top of the hour, we're going to see these winds probably in the 45-mile-an-hour range. At the last report at 8 p.m., 55-mile-an-hour winds reported, with the storm moving to the north-northwest at 13. It was then 30 miles southwest of Gainesville. Looks like the center of the storm is about to make its way out across the water. Quickly want to show you where tropical storm warnings are in effect from Destin, Florida, southward to Inglewood, and then on the other side, from the eastern side, from Cocoa Beach northward to the Savannah River. We still have the potential for not just winds, but also tornadoes. Take a look at the center of the storm. Look at how the eye has opened up here. The southeastern side has definitely opened up as far as the radar signature is concerned. And now a lot of the heaviest activity is across the northern portion of the storm, extending on into Georgia. The first tornado warning has now come out for the state of Georgia. This is for Charlton County. Tornado warning in effect there until 10:30, 10:15 for Nassau County, which is northern portions of Florida. That's this area, this cluster of thunderstorms here that will be moving northward as we head through the evening. There is a tornado watch in effect until 1 a.m. A new one will be issued when this one expires, probably more to the north, maybe a little bit further to the north and east. But we have had some damage from some of those tornadoes around Duval County and St. Johns County. There was a report of some damage to mobile homes there, but you can see that this northern edge here is where we're finding the strongest thunderstorms at this hour. We, of course, continue to worry about the heavy rain. We do have flood watches and warnings in effect northward, even into South Carolina, and there's good reason for it. Look at some of the rain totals. This is 24 hours since 8 p.m. yesterday. Melbourne, almost 6 inches of rain. Orlando, almost 5.5. We continue to watch Jeanne. I'll show you where she's expected to go a little bit later. Carol?
All right, good deal. Thanks very much, Orlin. The hurricane season obviously has slammed Florida 4 times in the past 6 weeks. Now, if you lived in Florida, would a hurricane season like this make you move for good? That's our last call question tonight. Give us a call at 1-800-807-2620, and you're going to hear some of what you said at the end of the broadcast, 45 minutes. Well, we've got a different kind of storm in the making right now. The first presidential debate this week, and history shows it can make or break the election.
I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit, for political purposes, my opponent's youth and inexperience.
The great one-liner. It worked more than once for Ronald Reagan. Will it work this time for George W. Bush? Or perhaps John Kerry? I've got 2 advisors to 2 former presidents who are going to talk about that. Plus, going after the insurgents, U.S. forces continue to pound Fallujah. And later, a plane plunges to the ground. Horrified spectators look on, and it's all caught on tape.
Hi, Dad.
Payoffs. Just one more thing to love about Outback, where you can enjoy favorites like our Kick and Cyclone chicken and our fresh Royal Port catch. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Get ready for a whole new kind of Dodge. Introducing the all-new Magnum SXT with a 3.5-liter high-output engine and all-speed traction control. Open it up and find a tri-fold cargo floor, unique access liftgate, even a powerful Boston acoustic sound system. Dodge Magnum SXT, a whole different ride. Velocity meets versatility. The all-new Magnum starting at $22,495, only at your Dodge dealer.
Welcome back. Our big leader is Carl Senegren, a bouncer from Saskatchewan. His hobbies are eating and lighting firecrackers. And it says here, Carl, you're looking forward to the 7th grade. You're going to be a teacher?
No, a student, Alex.
You mean you're not even in high school yet?
What is no? But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Let's get some harder questions here, huh, Alex?
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Every morning, CNN connects you directly to the news. Trust American Morning, where real news makes the difference. CNN Monday, 7 Eastern.
You get the power to control live TV with DVR. A huge library of shows with on-demand. And more local high-definition broadcast networks than satellite. All with Comcast Digital Cable. TV is now on your terms.
Honey, there's someone I'd like you to meet.
Just a sec.
He's trying to decide what minivan to buy. The red yarn compares safety features, the blue yarn compares performance features, and the green yarn compares options.
Right. Excuse me, sir? Sir? Huh? I can do all that for you.
Really? That's great, because my neck's killing me.
VHICS.com, roadmap to the automotive world.
Honey, online.
Oh.
Paul is on now. Primetime Politics. CNN Monday, 8 Eastern.
On to the war in Iraq, and the danger there has new perspective from a new report that says now 70 killing attacks a day, 70 very dangerous attacks on U.S. or Iraqi government forces, up from 40 to 50 in late June. The numbers come from a security agency working for the U.S. government and were on the front page of today's Washington Post. But the general in charge of U.S. forces in Iraq remains upbeat. General John Abizaid of the U.S. Central Command today predicted Iraq will have good, stable elections in January. So consider this, a new U.S. military offensive is already underway in Fallujah, a region of heavy insurgent violence. A U.S. airstrike targeted what officials call a terrorist planning meeting, and 2 attacks were foiled today. U.S. Marines, Iraqi National Guard soldiers, and a series of protective barriers outside a base near Karma forced 2 suicide bombers to detonate their vehicles without hurting any coalition forces. And also, the brother of British hostage Kenneth Bigley tells CNN he is gently optimistic. Paul Bigley says he received information that his brother is still alive and a dialogue is open. Kenneth Bigley was kidnapped in Baghdad 10 days ago, along with 2 Americans who were later beheaded. Now, Secretary of State Colin Powell says coalition military commanders are gathering their resources to deal with the so-called no-go zones, where Iraqi insurgents are causing trouble. On CNN's Late Edition, Powell also predicted Iraq's national elections will go ahead as scheduled in January, even though conditions won't be perfect.
There will be polling stations that are shot at. There will be insurgents who will still be out there who will try to keep people from voting. But I think what we have to keep shooting for, and what is achievable, is to give everybody the opportunity to vote in the upcoming election, to make the election fully credible and something that will stand the test of the international community's examination.
The secretary also said that conditions are relatively stable in many areas of Iraq. Still to come, the presidential debates and moments to remember, and some candidates would like to forget.
Who am I? Why am I here?
Remember the brilliant James Stockdale? Even the smartest men can be undone in the glaring spotlight. Plus, facing her fury, journalists struggle against the storm to bring you the story firsthand. And if you lived in Florida, a hurricane season like this, would it make you move? That's our last call question. Give us a call at 1-800-807-2620.
Guys?
No way!
Yeah, I got us on the Verizon Wireless Family Share Plan, so we can talk to each other as much as we want.
And it's got in, so you can talk to your friends all you want to. Really? Awesome!
Hey, group hug. Okay.
Sign up for the Family Share Plan, and now the whole family can make unlimited in-calls to each other and any other Verizon Wireless customer from our national in-coverage area. Plus, buy one LG 3200 for $29.99 and get one free.
Give me a call.
Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
If a homemade dune buggy can have an off-road suspension, if a solar car can use lightweight materials to increase fuel efficiency, if a vehicle this small can have incredible power, then why can't your truck? At GMC, our engineers don't just ask questions, they have answers. Introducing the mid-sized GMC Canyon. Professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
This is Jim's dream vacation. The trouble is, give me all of them. This isn't Jim. It's Maurice who stole Jim's debit card, spending his money. Presenting the American Express Travel Funds card. The safety of travelers checks in a convenient card. It's prepaid and not linked to your bank account. If it's stolen, your balance is replaced fast. Plus, it works at ATMs. It's your vacation.
How much for the boat?
Why lose it? The Travel Funds card from American Express. Get a Travel Funds card and get a free companion airfare.
To go the distance in life, it takes persistence, performance, and strength. The same qualities that have made Pacific Life one of the largest life insurance companies in the nation. With Pacific Life by your side, there's no limit to what you can accomplish. Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed.
When you watch TV, your eye doesn't just see what's in here. You see out here and out here. It's called your peripheral vision. Now there's a TV that's designed around the way you see. It's an eyeful. You've never seen anything like it. Peripheral television is here. And here. And here.
Hurricane Jeanne is grabbing the headlines, but there is other news from around the nation. For example, an airliner headed to New York's Kennedy Airport from Athens was diverted after a bomb threat was called in to a Greek newspaper. The Olympic Airlines jet made an emergency landing in London. All 293 passengers and 12 crew members are safe. Inspectors haven't said whether they found any explosives just yet. And frightening images from a Fullerton, California air show. Look at that. A private plane had just taken off when it veered past the control tower and crashed into a parking lot. It hit a car with 2 women inside. They were only treated and released. The plane's pilot and passenger are in critical condition. And some 250 people had to leave their homes after a gas pipeline exploded near Houston, Texas. Someone was digging with construction equipment and punctured the pipe. No one was hurt. Now, this Thursday, President Bush and Senator Kerry face off in the first of 3 debates. But often the big news out of the debates are not the lofty policy positions, but the great one-liners.
I served with Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
Remember that? Then again, the campaigns impose so many pre-negotiated rules on the debates these days, from the height of the podium to whether the candidates can even address each other, that spontaneous zingers are so newsworthy and potentially devastating. Tonight, I have the advisors to 2 great communicators. Ann Lewis was President Clinton's communications director and now works with the Democratic National Committee. And Frank Donatelli was an advisor to Ronald Reagan. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening.
And do you think that Lloyd Bentsen knew that he was going to get an opportunity to use that "You're no Jack Kennedy" line on Dan Quayle?
There was some reason to think he had that line ready. And if he got anything close to an opportunity, he was going to try to use it. You know, it takes 2 parts to come up with a golden moment like that. You have to have the line, but then you need to have a hook.
And
I think he got absolutely the best sort of softball up the middle of the plate, and he just hit it out of the park. But he was ready for it.
Frank, the rules are so specific that the campaigns lay out on both sides on these presidential debates that some critics say that they prevent the candidates from actually engaging, and that really appeals to people's emotions and not necessarily their intellect. The infamous moment back in 1988 when Michael Dukakis got that famous question. Here it is.
Governor, if Kitty Dukakis were raped and murdered, would you favor an irrevocable death penalty for the killer?
No, I don't, Bernard, and I think you know that I've opposed the death penalty.
And he didn't even hesitate, Frank, and that was a turning point in that man's campaign. Are you expecting any zingers come this Thursday? What's the potential here?
Well, I think it's probably less, Carol, for the reasons that you say, is that the rules are much stricter this time. As I understand the rules, it's 2 minutes for a response, and then the other candidate gets a minute and a half. And then at the discretion of the moderator, quote, the debate can continue for another 60 seconds on that point. So the ability of candidates to go back and forth with zingers, as you put them, is probably less than it used to be. You know, I don't know that that's necessarily bad. I mean, if we want to get a full view of the candidates' views on this point, I don't know that zingers, as interesting as they are, necessarily tell you that much.
All right,
about
maybe not zingers, maybe unguarded moments where the candidate has the opportunity or the liability of showing his true self, Ann.
I think that's absolutely right. And you know what? That is what people tune in to the debates for. It is because they want to see, what are these people like? Now think about it from the point of view of John Kerry. This is a chance people have to see him talking about what kind of president he'd be for longer than those 7 to 12 seconds, which is what you often get on evening news. So even though the rules are tight, and as Frank says, even when you're thinking about what to say, you also have to have in the back of your mind, how many seconds have I used up? How much time will be left? But for the audience, it's a very good chance to see, measure this guy as our president. What is it he's saying, and a better chance than they've had before.
But you know, Ann, that John Kerry is a classic debater. I mean, he's classically trained. And you take a look at, I mean, he's got policy down, right? He's got the facts, the figures, and then you put him up against an unorthodox debater like George W. Bush. Take a look at what happened to Al Gore in the last debate between the 2 candidates and how George W. Bush manipulated the moment. See if we have that tape. All right, it's the debate where, you know, they could roam the stage, Ann. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, and Al Gore walked up to George W. Bush.
I just as soon not watch it again.
Okay.
You know, but
Well, Frank, you remember, and George Bush, with one look, I mean, Al Gore was trying to seize the moment, right, by physically imposing himself into George W. Bush's space, and George W. Bush gave him this look like, excuse me, the audience laughed, and Al Gore had to retreat to his stool. There.
Well, I think both of the clips that you showed there, the first one of Mr. Dukakis, he came off as rather stiff and unemotional. And, you know, that's really kind of the way he was, and so he came across that way in the debate. The thing with Al Gore was he was the smartest kid in the class, but was not terribly likable. So there are moments, I think, when you have an hour and a half on camera, 45 minutes for each person, even though the rules are pretty tight, I think the public will get a better sense of these two men.
Yeah,
So,
I think Frank and I agree on that one. And I'd have to say, I think that particular clip has been well studied. Look, George Bush is a very good debater, and we know this. In fact, he's never lost a political debate. So any question that he might have been underestimated 4 years ago, and I think 4 years ago, the Bush campaign won the pre-debate, you know, because they had lowered expectations for him so much. He won't be able to do that this time.
all right, your advice, Ann Lewis, to John Kerry.
For John Kerry, again, a great chance to talk to millions of Americans. And you know what? They're tuning in because they really are undecided. They don't know which way to go. We know that the majority of them think the country's going in the wrong direction. And so what you need to do is just make that connection with them and show them the kind of leader you'll be to get us going in the right direction again.
Frank Donatelli, advice to George W. Bush.
He's a plain-spoken man. He can talk directly to the public, but doesn't need his 2 minutes to communicate his thoughts, and focus very heavily on your record, on foreign policy. The country thinks you've done a good job.
All right, Frank Donatelli, Ann Lewis, we'll see what happens this Thursday night.
Thank you.
Well, they keep coming and coming. Charlie, Francis, Ivan, Jeanne, a detailed look at the total destruction the Sunshine State has to overcome. And later, Lacey Peterson comes to life in home videos. How did that play out among the jury? And what will it mean to Scott Peterson? Rap Sheet's coming up.
Coverage of America Votes 2004 is sponsored by Samsung. Excellence is within everything we create. Samsung Electronics. Log on to cnn.com/election for in-depth analysis of this year's presidential race.
It all starts with a chip that contains world-leading technology. Together with Samsung's superior engineering and design, it does so much more. It inspires. It enriches. It's the soul of Samsung, and it's in everything we create. Experience the power within. Samsung.
This is the Coopers' long-awaited getaway. The trouble is, this isn't the Coopers.
Everything in size 8?
It's the Vaughns who stole their wallet, spending their money. Presenting the American Express Travel Funds card, the safety of traveler's checks in a convenient card. It's prepaid. If it's stolen, your balance is replaced fast. Plus, it works at ATMs. It's your vacation.
Oh, yeah!
Why lose it? The Travel Funds card from American Express. Get a Travel Funds card and get a free companion airfare.
If you're thinking about refinancing your mortgage to lower your monthly payments or to cash out equity, get the $395 flat fee home loan from Ditech.com. Just call 1-800-DITECH-1 or apply online at Ditech.com.
A 6,500-pound towing capacity. Just one of the many reasons the trail-rated Jeep Grand Cherokee is so capable. Get $1,500 bonus cash for a total cash allowance of $5,000 on Grand Cherokee at the Jeep model year-end clearance.
You do something to me, something that simply mystifies me. Let me live neath your spell. Do that, voodoo that you do so well.
At the heart of the most extraordinary places, you'll find the most extraordinary hotels. Renaissance Hotels and Resorts.
This fall, Americans will make critical decisions about the future of the free world.
That's a lot of hooey.
This isn't one of them. Vote for your all-time favorite political movie with Decision 2004. The great political movies. Now at TurnerClassicMovies.com.
Beginning Monday on Newsnight, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, LA, and Vegas. We're on the road all week up and down the West Coast. New city every night. That's Newsnight, CNN, 10 Eastern.
Here are the stories making headlines tonight and tomorrow. Pakistani security forces killed a key figure in al-Qaeda. Amjad Hussein Faruqi was a suspect in the killing of U.S. reporter Daniel Pearl and assassination plots against Pakistan's president. And if you're looking for something to blame for the latest spike in gasoline prices, blame Hurricane Ivan. The Lundberg survey reports gas has gone up a nickel a gallon in the last 2 weeks, largely because of shutdowns and damage caused when Ivan hit petroleum refineries along the Gulf Coast. And Tropical Storm Jeanne is still spinning over northern Florida. In its wake, at least 4 deaths, plus plenty of damage and substantial beach erosion. State officials say it's too soon to put a dollar figure on all of this. There are a lot of ways to show you the damage from a hurricane, but if you'll pardon the expression, nothing drives it home when you see so much beach sand inside a house that people have to duck to avoid the ceiling. This picture on the front page of the Palm Beach Post. Well, Vero Beach was still reeling from Hurricanes Francis before Jeanne came along. CNN's Ed Lavandera shows us how some people already battered by Francis fared this time around.
When Hurricane Francis blasted into Vero Beach, David Jenner evacuated his home, but this time he went to sleep in his own bed.
Honest to God, no, I slept in there all night.
When Jenner woke up Sunday morning, he knew right away Hurricane Jeanne was going to be more destructive than the last storm.
So I stepped out of bed and I got over my glasses and I looked down and I was up above my ankles in water and I said, we must be getting some flooding.
Many roadways in residential neighborhoods along Florida's east coast are under several inches of water. Steve Sniffen still has 3 inches of water sitting in his house. With no job and no insurance, he can only count on aid money to help clean up the mess.
Yeah, it's a miserable experience. I don't want to go through it again. This is the second time now, so I've had enough.
But just like in previous hurricanes, it was the mobile home parks that suffered the worst damage. 70-year-old Billy Dodds ventured back into his home Sunday to find the walls of his living room had blown away.
What did you think of Jeanne?
I can tell you right now, she's a bitch. I thought Francis was bad. That gave me a little bit of grief. There's way more than that.
Despite the sadness many Florida residents are finding as they return home, Kim Moeller has found a reason to smile.
She stayed here in Mexico.
Her cat, Miss Kitty, survived the storm even as part of the mobile home she was in collapsed. Moeller left for a shelter and had to leave the cat behind.
I didn't want to leave her because I was afraid I'd come back and she wouldn't be here. I'm just glad she is.
After making it through Hurricane Francis and now Hurricane Jeanne, most of the residents around this part of Florida will tell you that Hurricane Jeanne was much worse, but they're just hoping that this is the curtain call to this year's hurricane season. Ed Lavandera, CNN, along the east coast of Florida.
And Jeanne is still on the move. Orlin Sidney still in the CNN Weather Center. Orlin.
Carol, thanks a lot. Here's what we think is going to happen to Jeanne. Indeed, she is moving now to the north-northeast. It looks like here's a little remnant of an old cold front back across the Appalachians, and the flow out ahead of a cold front is generally from the south and west. So we think that's going to pick up the storm and take it out to sea over the next 48 hours. By tomorrow afternoon, expected to be in southern Georgia as a tropical depression. In fact, I believe it's going to be a tropical depression probably at the 2 a.m. advisory because the winds have dropped so much. 2 p.m. on Tuesday works its way up northward into southern Virginia, and then from there on out to sea. We won't have to worry about that again. Here are the latest coordinates that we have. The new update is due in at any moment. 30 miles southwest of Gainesville. The winds are 55 miles an hour, moving to the north-northwest at 13, but I have continued to see wind gusts up around the 60-mile-an-hour mark. We do have those tropical storm warnings in effect, and we also have a new tornado warning that is in effect effect for Nassau County until 10:45. We continue to see those strongest thunderstorms there to the north, working now into southern parts of Georgia. So if you're south of the interstate here, along Interstate 75 towards Valdosta, out towards 95 in Georgia, you will see some very strong thunderstorms beginning tonight. Carol.
All right, thanks very much, Orlin. You know, Hurricane Jeanne and all the hurricane coverage of the last 6 weeks, we want to get out of the way of the story right now because, frankly, only the pictures and the people who lived it can fully express what really happened. In our spotlight tonight, take a look and a listen at the summer of the hurricane.
Let me repeat our main message for today. NOAA's National Weather Service is predicting an above normal year for a hurricane season in 2004.
It's indescribable. You just pray that the wind drops because we don't seem like we could have taken another 5 minutes.
It was really the most incredible experience. It was really horrid. It blew out all the doors, the end of the building, the metal was flying everywhere. It was just unbelievable how it was just vibrating. We just didn't really think this would hold.
Did you think this was it?
Yeah, we really didn't think we'd make it through this.
I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life. Really? When those winds got up there, it sounded like there was 1,000 guys marching up on our roofs.
People that are going to be organized to act on their hearts to help will be here, and assistance is forthcoming.
I've never seen anything up in this area like this. Hurricane Donna didn't do this much damage. But thank God we got our life.
Hurricane Francis is a Category 4, very dangerous, very powerful hurricane.
The most ferocious winds are happening now. An estimated 100-mile-an-hour plus sustained winds are moving into this area now. It is the nightmare that these folks have been worried about.
Let's go. They're much more prepared this time because of Hurricane Charlie.
The wind sounded like 100 18-wheelers racing around the house.
It's a strange storm, I'll tell you, and it's the worst one that this area has seen in many years because it's climbing up the coast and going as slow as a turtle and chewing you up like a buzzsaw. I mean, it was a long night in Vero Beach last night.
I just got back after 5 months in Baghdad, Iraq. And I thought that was a problem getting shot at on the RPG alley at the airport every day with body armor. And today I wish I was back in Baghdad, I tell you, but the nightmare is only about to begin.
There will be utility lines that are fallen. There will be flooding. There's many dangers that might not be seen that people need to take very seriously.
It was a rough night. This was, one of the scary things about sitting one of these things out is listening to the pine trees snapping all night. It sounds like somebody snapping their fingers, and then you hear the big crash when it hits the ground. You can't see anything because it's pitch black dark.
It's just hard to imagine this could happen. I've been here all my life and seen several hurricanes, but nothing like this.
Sometimes it feels like this is a test of resiliency for our state. Other times I feel like I'm Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day.
So when they come out, they blow into the let's step back, Bob. Let's stop.
This state will not only survive, it'll rebound. It's a resilient place full of incredibly talented people. And I'm really proud to be governor of a state where I can honestly say that a year from now, in spite of what's happened in the last 6 weeks, we will be stronger and we will be better because of what we've gone through.
They are the survivors. More than 70 people killed in hurricanes in the last 6 weeks in Florida. We'll be right back.
You have the most beautiful hands.
This is Jim's dream vacation. The trouble is, give me all of them. This isn't Jim. It's Maurice who stole Jim's debit card, spending his money. Presenting the American Express Travel Funds card. The safety of travelers checks in a convenient card. It's prepaid and not linked to your bank account. If it's stolen, your balance is replaced fast. Plus, it works at ATMs. It's your vacation.
How much for the boat?
Why lose it? The Travel Funds card from American Express. Get a Travel Funds card and get a free companion airfare.
Can 2 rows of fold-in floor seating transport the entire family in luxury? Yes. And can our exclusive stow-and-go seating and storage system hold enough for the whole trip? Definitely. Can you find any of these features on Toyota Sienna or Honda Odyssey? No. And now, can returning qualified Daimler Chrysler owners get all this for thousands less than Sienna and Odyssey? Absolutely. Introducing the all-new Chrysler Town & Country with Stow & Go. Inspiration comes standard.
For a limited time, get our best deal ever. 1,000 nationwide anytime minutes for just $39.99. Plus rollover, only from Singular. You can look around all you want. You won't find a better deal anywhere. But this deal won't be around forever, so don't look too long. And now get this new Motorola camera phone for just $49.99. But hurry, this offer ends soon. 1,000 nationwide anytime minutes with rollover. Another reason Singular fits you best.
Wow, you have beautiful hands.
Uh-huh.
The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway.
Wherever business takes you, Best Western is there. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Now featuring free high-speed internet access at most hotels. Visit bestwestern.com for locations.
On tonight's rap sheet, jurors in the Scott Peterson murder trial get a very different look at Peterson and his wife Lacey as the prosecution winds down its case. CNN Rusty Doran has this on what's to come this week.
40 pounds heavier, sporting a goatee and blonde hair, jurors got a glimpse of a different Scott Peterson in these police surveillance photos taken in the hours before his arrest. Lead Modesto detective Craig Grogan says Peterson led agents on an erratic chase around Southern California that day. When Peterson was told DNA tests confirmed his wife Lacey and unborn son were dead, Grogan said the defendant lowered his head and shed a tear.
Where's that going to?
Lacey Peterson came to life for the jurors in this home video of the victim entertaining friends. Analysts say it was a good move for prosecutors.
That's one of those things that you always want to see as a prosecutor in a homicide case. You want to impress upon the jury that this was a living, vibrant human being.
Jurors also saw the interviews Peterson did with reporters. Peterson told Diane Sawyer he admitted his affair with Amber Frey to police. Investigators say he did not. Peterson said he was emotionally unable to enter the nursery for his unborn son. A video played in court showed the room cluttered with furniture and other things. In another taped phone call, Detective Grogan tells Peterson, "You and I both know what happened to Lacey."
It's a matter of time. Craig, I had nothing to do with Lacey's disappearance. I'm real. Okay, I'm gonna go. Scott, what I'm offering you is an opportunity here to end all of this nonsense.
On cross-examination, defense attorney Mark Garrigus tried to show investigators zeroed in on Peterson too quickly. He pointed out Peterson was cooperative and had no history of violence. The defense also claimed the reasons Peterson went back to the Bay Area several times was because he was looking for a witness he claimed saw him put the boat in the water Christmas Eve. Monday, the cross-examination of Detective Grogan continues. The prosecution is likely to wrap up its case early next week. Rusty Dornan, CNN, Redwood City, California.
All right, so let's talk more about the Scott Peterson case. And we also have an interesting development in the Florida ruling on the Terry Schiavo right-to-die case. But first, the Peterson case. Jeanne Weintraub, criminal defense attorney. Wendy. Hey, Wendy. Wendy Murphy.
I'm here.
Good evening, Wendy.
Good
Former
to see
federal
you.
prosecutor. Good to have both of you. Ladies?
Thank you. It's good not to be in a hurricane tonight.
Yeah, I know, but
enough sympathy for Jane with that.
Yeah, I was about to say, Jane, you don't get any points. If I were Jeanne, I would have avoided you in Miami too. All right? Fair enough. Jane, the prosecutors move to show this videotape of Laci Peterson. Was it really that smart on their part, or just a naked, blatant attempt at emotion?
I think that's all it was a naked attempt at emotion. I think it was stupid on their part because I think it's going to be a viable issue on appeal if there's ever a conviction. The fact that she was a vibrant, lovely, spunky, lively, happy person has nothing to do with whether or not Scott Peterson killed her. It is not disputed that she was a happy, loving, wonderful gal. That's not the issue here. The issue is, what was the relevance of putting that tape in? Was there any point that it was trying to prove, any material fact it was going to prove in the trial or in this indictment? No, it was purely a tug of the emotion.
Wendy?
We are not here to tug at emotions.
God forbid we should actually let a jury, I don't know, understand that the dead person was real. You know, that killing is bad and wrong. The jury is not a computer. It's not a robot. It needs to understand that this is a crime, that a very serious offense happened, and it happened to a real person. I mean, giving her a little bit of life in the courtroom is not reversible.
Could it backfire,
It's not
Wendy?
problematic.
I just
Well, no, you know what? No. I mean, they didn't play her rubbing her belly and singing lullabies to her unborn child.
No, they had her in a
showed
bikini
her
cooking and
space.
singing.
But you know what they did? I mean, this is the thing that I think is really going on here. They also showed Scott Peterson fishing with his father at some point in the past. The point is, probably Garagos said to the judge, I want to show the jury that, my guy's a real wonderful man who goes fishing with his dad. And the prosecution said, hey, if you're going to give it to him, let us put on that lovely, film piece about Laci. I think that's what it was. It was a deal.
They don't have any business putting on
fishing with his dad have to do with anything. It has nothing to do with nothing.
Stop
There's
shifting
nothing
the
about
burden.
this that matters
this is
very
the
much.
prosecutor's burden.
Jane, yeah? What do you mean? I mean, what problem do you have with that?
In the sense that the prosecutors, it's not their chance to try and deflect what Mark Garagos may or may not have said. This is their opportunity, if they can, to prove their case in chief of murder, of that she was murdered and that Scott Peterson murdered her. They haven't gotten there yet. That's number one. And number two, there was no rule of evidence to show the admissibility or why this video came into evidence. It's very nice to say, well, the jury should know that she's not a robot. You know what? The jury's not entitled to know anything from their heart.
That wasn't my point. And you know what?
Just
Look, Scott
evidence.
Peterson's defense from day one was, I'm not the type. It's all about what types of people we're talking about in this case.
And that
he
doesn't
wants the
prove
drama
their
to be
case.
all about how he's such a nice guy and she was just a nothing, a dead person. He's not going to be able to play that drama game successfully, and the prosecution was entitled to rebut it.
Well, let's talk about the drama unfolding in Florida in the Terri Schiavo case. For people who don't remember, she's been in a vegetative state for some 14 years. Her husband, who is her legal guardian, has wanted to disconnect her feeding tube, which would, in effect, at some point kill her. The governor has had jurisdiction in this case. A higher court has ruled that he no longer does. Wendy, does this mean that Michael can now make the decision to disconnect the feeding tube and allow his wife to die?
Well, there's certainly a possibility of further appeals to the United States Supreme Court. I mean, I don't think that they're really going to go anywhere. As a separation of powers argument, I think the court is probably correct. You don't want the will of the people to trump the will of an individual, especially in making such an important life decision as whether to live or die. What I'm troubled by, though, is that the underlying facts don't seem to matter to the courts, and they matter a lot to me, because it's not entirely clear to me at all that this woman would have wanted to die in this condition.
But it was
and the
clear to
only
the court.
person, let me just finish, the only person who's speaking to this, the only one who's saying she would have wanted to die is her husband, who not only had a huge financial motive to lie about that from the get-go, because he stood to inherit her wealth if she died, and he not only is, has potentially been involved in harming her in the past. There have been allegations of abuse.
Oh,
this is not a guy with a pure agenda. No, it matters.
Jane,
it matters. Her
we're running out of
parents
time.
say she wouldn't want to die. They're not nothing in
Let's
her
hear
life.
from Jane.
Carol, this is a case that was a complete tragedy. This is a simple case where in Florida, it is up to the intent of the person to demonstrate what they would have wanted to do. Normally it's done by living will. In this case, Terry Schiavo didn't have a living will. Her husband testified in a court hearing that he knew she would not want to be sustained by artificial life support, as other people testified. The court heard many, many hours of expert testimony that she will never survive, she will never come out of this comatose
not true,
state,
Jane. You're
and that she
overstating
would
it.
not
They
have
heard from
wanted to
doctors
live
the
this way.
contrary.
Hold on.
You know what? Look at,
Hold
look
on.
at, look at. You're
Wendy,
misstating something. The husband didn't come up with that, oops, I forgot to tell you she would have rather died claim
Wendy,
until
he's been
after
trying to let her
she
die with
won
dignity. How about her privacy rights
$1.5 million in her civil suit for malpractice.
Wendy,
But hasn't a lot of that has been spent on her medical care, Wendy? I don't think there's much money
he cared
left.
for her, he loved her,
The
he's
point
remarried.
is, the
You're
point
wrong.
is, she got over $1 million for medical malpractice. 700,000 of that money that was supposed to go to her future care and therapy. And as soon as he got that money, he said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, she'd rather
Wendy,
die." Wow,
Wendy, here's a quote from the
him,
Supreme
don't you
Court.
think?
ladies.
We are a nation of laws.
We're
Our
gonna-
emotions should not govern us.
And we're gonna have to leave it
the
there.
Supreme Court.
As I said,
Let her
he
go.
is her legal guardian, but her parents, who've been fighting him on this issue, are petitioning another court asking that he be removed as legal guardian, so the case is not over yet. Ladies, thank you very much. Jane,
Thank
Wendy,
you, Carol.
always good to see you every Sunday night. All right, much more to come here on CNN Sunday Night, and you're going to see firsthand the impact on our very own people as Hurricane Jeanne made landfall. Be right back.
Heinrich, yeah. I'll be right there.
They've left little room for compromise.
Headlights that turn on curves. Impressive.
The new RX from Lexus.
They are waiting for you.
Continuing to put the world on notice.
Every day there are people out there making decisions that affect you. Who holds them accountable? Who can you trust? CNN's Lou Dobbs. CNN Monday, 6 p.m.
At the Dodge Model Year-End 10 event, things are moving fast. Come in now to get huge deals on the best selection of the remaining 2004 Dodges. Grab the tough Dodge Ram 1500 Quad Cab with 0% financing plus $2,500 in bonus cash for a total savings of up to $8,100. Or grab huge cash allowances on the rugged Dakota or the roomy Durango, plus our 770 powertrain limited warranty. So hurry in for the best selection of 04s during the Dodge Model Year-End 10 event.
Business travel got you squeezed in? Don't downsize, Amerisize. At AmeriSuites, you'll get more workspace plus high-speed internet access. Want more elbow room? Don't downsize, Amerisize, and get a separate sleeping area in a spacious suite for the price of just a hotel room. Plus AmeriSuites free breakfast, now with waffles and scrambled eggs. AmeriSuites. Don't downsize, Amerisize. Grab a hold of our triple-decker, triple points, and triple miles, only from Prime Rewards.
Are there really people who spend every minute thinking about TV? People who obsess over how to make the internet more fun? Is there a place where people are dedicated to finding new ways to entertain you and inspire you? You'd better believe it. We're Comcast, a cable company dedicated to changing the way you think about your cable company.
When it comes to your family's safety, you don't have time to wait. Be ready with a visit to Guns & Leather. We have one of the largest selections of guns in Middle Tennessee. Guns & Leather has one of the best firing ranges in the state. Our firing range equipment is what the FBI and CIA uses for their training. Never touched a gun? Our family atmosphere is the perfect place for everyone to learn. Guns & Leather is state certified to conduct handgun permit classes, and we do this at the lowest prices around. Don't be afraid. Be ready with Guns & Leather on Highway 41 South in Greenbrier.
Trust CNN, America's campaign headquarters.
Monday through Friday, Anderson Cooper has a program that has a segment called Inside the Box, as in the TV box. But when a hurricane blows by, you're likely to find Anderson outside the box and just maybe wishing he wasn't. We're going to bet your Saturday night wasn't as wild as his.
Do you have any sense of how long the northern part of the eye wall is going to last at this location?
I think you're going to be in it for another 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes? Are you kidding?
Sorry, buddy. Listen, they pay you the big bucks. Come on. Suck it up out there. Now you're protected, aren't you? Right now you're protected.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how protected I am, frankly. I didn't really intend to. I was just walking away from the place where we were, and then all of a sudden the wind just picked up like this, and I just happened upon the camera here. We were at a different camera, a different location. So I figured, I should get on air as quickly as possible. But this is definitely the worst we've seen so far. And it's obviously very hard to stand. Our equipment keeps breaking down. The cameras keep getting water inside them. This is just relentless, non-stop, just brutal winds.
We're going to be in it for a while. That's the problem. There's just no way to get out of it now that we're in it.
And I can't even hear what Chad is saying. Whoa!
And at this point in time, it is hard to stand up. Remember you asked me about 20 miles an hour ago, when is it going to be very hard to do this? And I said about 100. And this is pretty darn close to 100.
So there's really no telling how long. I mean, Rob was saying it might last for 45, 50 minutes.
It sure could. And if the storm continues to turn right, which it's not doing yet, we could be in the eye wall for an even longer time.
That's certainly not good news for us here.
This is just Mother Nature at her worst.
Well, Anderson and Chad are doing just fine after getting some much-needed rest. Anderson emailed me shortly before he got on an airplane, and he said, "What am I doing out here? It's windy, it's raining, you were wet and miserable, probably looking pretty dumb." One answer, of course, is that covering these storms is very exciting and challenging. You have to decide where to position yourself and figure out how to stay on the air, even at the height of the storm. And he tells me, "I am a big believer in the importance of bearing witness to what is happening to people. Millions must suffer through them. Sharing a small part of what they are going through seems the least that I can do." Anderson heading home tonight. And that's all the time we have for this hour. We're going to leave you tonight with your responses to our last call question. If you live in Florida, would a hurricane season like this make you move? Here are some of your thoughts. Have a good night.
Yes, a hurricane season like this would make me move, and move in a quick, fast, and hurry way.
Yes, I would definitely. After the first one, I would leave.
No, it wouldn't make me move. I've lived through hurricanes in Houston, Texas, and even though they're coming in rapid succession, I would stay put.
Sure would, because 4 in a row is too much to take, and I would not chance it for another season.
Tell you what, I do live in Florida. I was out of power for 10 days with Francis. I'm out of power now. But I got a generator on, so I can watch CNN, and I still have some air conditioning. So, no, I wouldn't move. I'm not moving anywhere. You can't find a better place than this. This is Florida. This is the best place in the world to live.
6:57 tomorrow.
You have a son?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. You want to get a bite? Yeah. Bath time.
I've got you under my skin. I've got you. Say hi. Deep in the heart. There's Daddy.
Introducing free high-speed internet access in every room. Courtyard. Our rooms were made for you.
Next time you start on your way, think about the gasoline you choose. New Shell V-Power is specially formulated to actively clean your engine as you drive. You have enough to deal with out there. Your gasoline can make a difference if it's new Shell V-Power.
Your UBS financial advisor can work with nearly 66,000 people in 50 countries. He can work with all the resources of one of the world's largest wealth management firms. But to understand what you need, he will always work right next to you. Could this be the most powerful two-person financial firm in the world? You and us, UBS.
This is the Coopers' long-awaited getaway. The trouble is, this isn't the Coopers.
Everything in size 8?
It's the Vaughns who stole their wallet, spending their money. Presenting the American Express Travel Funds card, the safety of travelers' checks in a convenient card. It's prepaid. If it's stolen, your balance is replaced fast. Plus, it works at ATMs. It's your vacation.
Oh, yeah!
Why lose it? The Travel Funds card from American Express. Get a Travel Funds card and get a free companion airfare.
Oh, hello, Roger. Take a seat. How's your first day going?
Well, everyone's been very nice.
That's great. Say, have you had a chance to look at the Scalepi report?
No, not yet.
Oh, those fourth quarter numbers are really looking up, so I'd like you to write up an analysis. Listen, if you need any help, anything at all, I'm right here.
No matter how productive you are, you can't do it alone. That's why there's management software from Computer Associates.
Need fast cash to consolidate bills or pay off credit cards? Call or log on to ditech.com and apply for a home equity loan with a no closing cost option. Just call 1-800-71-FIX.
As Hurricane Jeanne battered Florida, CNN was there.
This is the height of the storm. The rain is still coming down.
We have been under the gun since about 8 o'clock this evening.
This is just Mother Nature at her worst.
Trust CNN for the best live coverage every step of the way.
I'm Carol Lynn at the CNN Center, and here's what's leading the news this hour. No longer a hurricane, but still a powerful, potentially deadly force of nature. Tropical storm Jeanne is drenching north-central Florida, heading for the Gulf Coast. At least 4 deaths in Florida are blamed on the storm. And very slow.